Last week, Remington Arms, who owned what used to be Bushmaster, has offered a settlement to the families in Connecticut from the Newtown shooting that are suing the manufacturer. And I've been talking with my friends in the deep bowels of the industry, saying that that was going to be a dangerous precedent. Well, Joe Biden has seized upon that attempt to settle a lawsuit, and he met with some attorneys general to try to convince them to sue gun manufacturers. That's right. Sue gun manufacturers because the White House wants people to believe the new narrative now that's coming out is that the manufacturers of firearms are the reason for the spike in violent crime, specifically the amount of gun deaths, gun violence. Has nothing to do with the lack of stiffness against violent criminals or the lack of Democrat-run cities and states holding them accountable, putting them in jail instead of slapping them on the wrists. The no bail movements and the defund the police and courts are so backed up they're letting people out like crazy. It has nothing to do with that. Smoke and mirrors, folks. It's got to be those manufacturers that are doing this. So Thursday afternoon, Joe Biden had a teleconference, a virtual one, with 7 attorneys general. I'm going to list them for you because I know somebody's going to ask. Carl Racine, District of Columbia, Letitia James of New York, Andrew Bruck of New Jersey, Rob Bonta of California, Josh Shapiro of Pennsylvania, Bob Ferguson of Washington, Maura Healey of Massachusetts, and William Tong of Connecticut. They're all anti-gunners, all Democrats, all well known for being vehemently against your right to keep and bear arms. Now, one of the major things that they discussed, this was about an hour-long meeting, and they discussed the PLCAA, that's the Protection of Lawful Commerce in Arms Act, and that is the law that shields gun manufacturers from frivolous lawsuits where violent criminals utilize something that they made to perpetuate their crime and their damage. It's not Ford's fault that you got caught drunk driving. And Biden always says that no other industry has this type of protection. But if we're going to be honest, Joe, let's talk about the vaccines, because you can't sue a vaccine company when you grow a third nipple on your fourth eyeball. Facts schmacks. Like, you just don't get to sue the spoon maker because you ate too much. You don't get to do that stuff. But smoke and mirrors, pay no attention to the facts, believe this narrative. So his administration is pushing back at this PLCAA. They've said that they want to repeal it. The only thing holding them back is the filibuster and the fact that they don't have 60 votes. Otherwise, Joe would have done that already. He's also pushing these attorneys general because these folks who I just named off are some of the most unconstitutional. Let's be nice. Some of the most unconstitutional ones, and ones that will push the envelope for political expediency. He has pushed these radicals to utilize existing state law to try to go around the protections of the PLCAA to sue gun manufacturers. And the first case where this ever, really happened in a big way was when the families of Newtown were allowed to sue Bushmaster. And for whatever reason, it was allowed to continue because they said that Bushmaster's marketing was marketed towards children. And it wasn't. It should have never gone through. It was a major victory for the anti-gunners. And when Remington came out last week and offered $33 million to these, I think it's 9 families, would have been $3.6 million per family to settle, which was a considerable amount less than they were looking for. When they came to try to, say, and Remington's under new ownership, all the sections that were auctioned off, if you remember, for the lack of a better term, when they went bankrupt. But by this company now trying to settle that to get out from underneath that, it has rekindled the push to go around the PLCAA to sue gun manufacturers and attempt to sue them out of business. And I actually have a quote from an administration official regarding this meeting on Thursday, and they were specifically talking about the PLCAA. And the official said, that doesn't mean that the PLCAA still isn't a significant barrier. One of the key things we need to do is repeal it. And we're still fighting every day for that. But in the meantime, we're going to be creative about talking to states about how they can use existing law to make policy change. And that is very dangerous. That's called case law. You have enough lawsuits where are decided a certain way, and even though the law says this thing, the judges kind of allow this and it's taken as precedent, it's case law. It's not written law. It's like a law that's made up by the courts. And it's dangerous because in these states, with those attorneys general, they have a significant chance to be able to accomplish that goal. D.C., New York, Massachusetts, Pennsylvania, Washington, all the ones I named, they are extremely anti-gun. Many of them have assault weapon bans, magazine bans or restrictions, all kinds of craziness. If you follow the channel, you know all this already. But this is a very dangerous attempt by the Biden administration to circumvent the PLCAA. And like I said, with those attorneys general mentioned, he has a significant chance of being able to create anti-gun case law. And we need to make sure everybody is aware of that. So share this along with fellow brethren, like-minded folk, and get the word out, get the news out. Let your representatives know that you're on top of this. If this is one of your attorneys general that I mentioned, get on the horn with them and let them know you will not stand for this. And we're done. We're not begging anymore. We're not negotiating anymore. We're done. We see them. We know their game. They're just going to keep pushing until there's nothing left to push. So that's the news. If you could, please hit the thumbs up button if you got anything out of this video and share it with like-minded folk. If you're into Second Amendment news, please consider subscribing to Guns and Gadgets. This is where you get that news on a daily basis. Till we see each other again, be safe, stay vigilant, and carry your weapon. Take care, everybody.